Hello students, after work now we have to study about the term energy. So we have studied that work is said to be done if a force is applied on a body and that body displays from its own position. So then we say that some work is done. Okay, now energy is defined as the capacity or the ability of that body to do work. So energy is related to the work only, or we can say that energy of a body is measured by the amount of work that body can perform. Or for example, if I'm a person, I have energy in my body, then only I can perform some work. So energy of a body is measured by the amount of work the body can perform, or we can define it as the capacity or ability to do work. So if I want to define it in a single phrase, then it will be the capacity or ability to do work by that body is called the energy possessed by that body. So the energy of a body is defined as its capacity or ability to do work, or we can also define it as the energy is measured by the amount of work that body can perform is called its energy. So this is how we can define energy. Now there are various forms of energy, okay, and all these forms are actually measuring the work. So we have the unit of energy same as that of work, that means its unit is joule. Its SI unit is joule, CGS unit is erg, and some other units are calorie, electron volt, EV is electron volt, and kilowatt hour. So these are all units of energy, and there are relations like 1 erg is equal to 10 to the power minus 7 joule, 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Similarly, 1 calorie is equal to 4.186, or sometimes it is written as 4.2 or 1.19 or 4.2 joules. Or the last one is 1 kilowatt hour, so it is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. So these are these values of these units, and its dimensions are also same as that of work done, that is ml to t minus 2. So these are the dimensions of energy. Now there are different types of energies. It can be solar energy, atomic energy, nuclear energy, light energy, chemical energy, electrical energy, magnetic energy, or mechanical energy, sound energy. So there are a lot of types of energy. The energy that we are dealing with here is mechanical energy. Now we have to deal with mechanical energy only. So this is the energy produced by some mechanical means. So the energy that is produced by mechanical means is called mechanical energy, and it is of two forms. First one is kinetic energy. First one is kinetic energy, and we can also write it as KE in short. Or the second one is potential energy. We can also write it PE. So these are the two forms of mechanical energy. Now we have to study both kinetic and potential one by one. First, I am starting with kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is a form of mechanical energy which is possessed by a body due to its motion. Okay, so kinetic energy is a form of mechanical energy, and it is possessed by a body due to its motion. Then this type of energy is called kinetic energy. If we have a moving object which can do work, then the amount of work that moving object can do before coming to stationary state, that is equal to its kinetic energy. So since kinetic energy is possessed by a body which is in motion, so whenever we have an object which is in motion, some force is acting on it, or that moving object is able to do some work, then the amount of work done by that object before coming to the stationary state is given as the amount of its kinetic energy, or it is equal to the amount of its kinetic energy. Now we are going to find the expression of kinetic energy, and for this we are using two separate means. In one mean we are going to use normal equations of motion, and in the second method we will be using calculus for finding the expression of kinetic energy. Okay, so first, to find the kinetic energy of a body, we mean that there is a body on which some force is acting, and that body is in motion, it is moving, and some work is required to bring the body into motion from its state of rest. So whenever we have an object, suppose we have an object here, we are pushing it from this force F. Now some work is needed to bring this body into motion. Initially its velocity was 0, or we can say u is equal to 0. Initial velocity is 0, but then because of this force some work is done on it and it starts moving, and after a certain time it moves through some distance s, and its velocity at this time is f, and the force is still acting on it. Okay, so the final velocity, or the velocity after some time, is v. Initially it was 0, and during this duration the distance covered is s. Let the mass of that object is m. If the mass is m and 0 हो गया इसका initial velocity, f is the constant force applied on that body, and when that body is moving a force is continuously applied on that, so there must be some acceleration acting on it. So we are assuming that acceleration produced in the body in the direction of force will be a. So this acceleration is a, that is produced in the body in the direction of force. Now we know that the force is acting here should be equal to mass into acceleration as per the Newton's second law of motion, and the work done, also we know that work done is equal to force into displacement, and this work done will give us the amount of kinetic energy, or the work done required to bring that body into motion will be equal to the kinetic energy. So basically we have to find this work done which will be stored there in the form of, or which will appear there in the form of kinetic energy. So we have W is equal to MAS. M is a constant, S is given, so our task is to find the acceleration, and for that we are going to use equations of motion. Basically we are going to use third equation of motion, that is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Initial velocity we know it is 0, this is v, so it will be v square minus 0 square is equal to 2as, and on solving this we get acceleration is equal to v square upon 2s, and we will substitute this to the expression of work done. So we get work done W is equal to m v square upon 2s into s, and it will be half m v square, and this work will appear in the form of kinetic energy of the body. K, E or just K will represent kinetic energy, and it is half m v square. So this is the first technique to find kinetic energy of an object, and it comes to be equal to the half of product of mass of body and the square of its velocity. Now the second method is by using calculus. To find the expression by using calculus method, we are considering a body of mass m again, that is initially at rest. So we have a body of mass m which is initially at rest, that means its initial velocity is 0. Now a force F vector is applied on the body, and this force F vector produces a displacement ds vector in the same direction, in its own direction. That means because of this force F vector, the body suffers a displacement ds vector in the direction of force. So we can say that theta is equal to 0 degree in that case. So the small work done in this case, in this situation, the small work done dw can be given as f vector dot ds vector, or f ds cos theta, where theta is 0. So it will be f ds. This is now by using Newton's second law of motion. According to the Newton's second law of motion, we know that force is equal to mass into acceleration. Since the body is in motion, so it has some acceleration in the direction of force, so we can write it as m, and according to calculus it is dv over dt, right? Acceleration can be given as the rate of change of velocity. So substitute this value in the expression for small work done dw and get dw is equal to m dv over dt dot ds. Now we can also write it as m dv ds over dt, and this ds over dt is actually the velocity. So dw is equal to mv dv. Now to find the total work done, we can integrate this expression within the limits of 0, that means the initial velocity, and the velocity of the final point, that is v. So to find the total work done, to increase velocity from 0 to final velocity v, we can integrate this. W is equal to integral of dw from 0 to the velocity v, and by substituting the value we get mv dv ka integral. Now mass is constant, so we get mass outside the integral, and the integral becomes 0 to v dv. Now integration of x dx, we know that the integration of x dx is x square upon 2, so this we are going to apply here, and we get w is equal to m v square upon 2 with the limits 0 to v. Now initial limit is v, final limit is v. We can apply these limits as final limit minus initial limit. So w is equal to half m v square minus half m 0 square, and this term will be 0, so the work done we get is half m v square, and this work done further appear in the form of kinetic energy. So this is the kinetic energy, which is equal to half m v square. This is how we can find kinetic energy by using calculus method. We can also find the relation between kinetic energy and momentum. So if we have to find momentum in terms of kinetic energy, or kinetic energy in terms of momentum, we can use this relation. We know that linear momentum is mass into velocity. So for the relation, as we know, k is equal to half m v square, we are going to multiply and divide this by m, so we get half m v whole square upon m, and this mv is actually p, so it become p square upon 2m, or we can write p is equal to under root 2mk, where k is the kinetic energy. So this is the relation between linear momentum and kinetic energy of that body. So this was the kinetic energy. Now move to the potential energy. So mechanical energy has two forms, that is kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy is because of the motion of the body. Now potential energy is the another form which is stored in a body or a system because of its position in a field of force or because of its configuration. So potential energy can be defined as the energy stored in a body or a system due to its position in a field of force or because of its or due to its configuration. So that kind of energy is called potential energy. Now there are further different types of potential energy. It can be gravitational potential energy, it can be elastic potential energy, or it can be electrostatic potential energy. So these are the forms of potential energy. The form that we are dealing here is gravitational potential energy, and it is because of the gravitational force acting on that body. So the gravitational potential energy of a body is the energy possessed by the body due to its position above the surface of earth, because if it is above the surface of earth, it has some height and gravitational force is acting on it, then such kind of potential energy is called gravitational potential energy. So the energy possessed by a body due to its position above the surface of earth. So for this, if we consider a body of mass m lying on the surface of earth like this, so this is the earth's surface and a body of mass m is lying on it, its weight mg is acting downwards. This is the position of the body. Now let g be the acceleration due to the gravity at that place. If a height that is much shorter, right, height which is much shorter than the radius of the earth is given to that body, so for that lift we need a force. First thing, in this situation or in the nearby region or some height which is much lesser than the radius of earth, the acceleration due to gravity, this value of g can be taken as constant near the surface of earth, and to provide this much height to this object, for this lift a force is needed, right, and this force needed to lift the body up with zero acceleration can be given as the force equal to mg, that is the weight of the body. Now the work done on that body in raising it through that height, if you want to raise this body to a height h, so work done in that process can be given as w is equal to f into distance or displacement, but in this case it is height, so it will be h, or f is equal to mg, that we already know, so w is equal to mgh. Now this work done is against the gravity and is stored as the form of gravitational potential energy, or we represent it by u. Since this work done is against the gravity, that's why it is stored in the form of gravitational potential energy of the body and is equal to mgh. Now if we take the object at the surface of earth, h is equal to 0, so in that case this gravitational potential energy at earth's surface will also be 0. So this is the gravitational potential energy. So that's all about the video. In next video we will be studying about work energy theorem, or we will be relating work and energy. For that, stay tuned and keep studying. Thank you.